Aloha everybody and welcome to part 3 of Sonic and the Secret Rings. We are still going through Sand Oasis because I have a secret ring I need to find because it helps me get the final story after all. In this particular mission I have to collect 99 rings, and if I make it to the goal ring without having to do so, then it's going to restart me and kick me all the way back. When you get hit by enemies, you don't actually lose all of your rings, you actually lose 20 or so. You can actually increase the maximum amount of rings that you can carry at a time by equipping certain skills that you will get by the level up system. My problem with the level up system, basically, with Secret Rings, is that it really was not necessary. And I know being able to customize Sonic, to tweak his abilities, to make him slower or faster, to make his maneuverability better or worse, to make the homing attack act in certain ways that you would feel be useful in one mission and unuseful in another. I understand that design mentality and I get it. At the same time, I don't like that when you start the game off, Sonic is pretty basic in terms of abilities, and he doesn't get super awesome until later. And even super awesome is, like, exaggerated. I've never found that when you level up all the way, Sonic is, oh my god, so much more fun to play. It's just better, but it's still not good enough, you know? Like, I always hear people say, oh, Secret Rings is great when you get all your abilities, and it's just like, it's the same. Okay, he's a little bit faster, there's a little bit of extra help there going on, but I never found it was like, oh, it saves the game, totally worth a second playthrough now, because Sonic handles better. So, you know, I just wish they built the game in a way that you didn't need to keep tweaking or customizing the character, and that the level design was better, especially rail grinding. Fuck, I hate rail grinding. Here's the thing. I can move off of the rail by flicking the Wiimote left or right, and he'll go in whatever the hell direction he chooses to go, because he certainly doesn't go in the direction I flick it. And then, or there's like another way you can jump off by pushing the 2 button, like, multiple times, and I still never figure out exactly how to do it. And it's like, if I can't get off a rail in time, I'll run into an enemy that's in front of me on the rail, or a ball spike that's on the rail, or a bottomless pit on the rail. Or if I'm just trying to stay on an upper route, and I didn't want to fall down to the lower route because I'm trying to get like a red ring or something, I hate rail grinding. It's terrible. It doesn't work. I know I've covered this before, but it bears repeating. These things I'm collecting right now are pearls, and I can't actually take advantage of the pearls because, again, until I get to a certain part of the story, I can't utilize one of Sonic's better abilities. I don't like leveling up, I don't like getting new abilities the more you play the game. I would rather Sonic just be what he is from the get-go, and just be a fast hedgehog who one-shots enemies in one hit, you know? I don't find that Sonic is about leveling up and customization, and that's kind of one of the big problems about upcoming games in the series, in fact, Sonic Unleashed included. I just wish they wouldn't have had that whole element, you know?
Sonic, look!
Whoa! I take it that's not something you see every day, huh?
That must be a monster summoned forth by the Eraser Djinn.
Shara! Can't you do something about it with your magic?
I'm sorry, Sonic. My magic is no match for that of the Eraser Djinn.
Okay then. Guess I'll just have to deal with him the old-fashioned way. And hey, don't look so glum, Shara. I'll have you smiling by the end of this. And that's not me ordering you as your master. That's a promise from me to you.
Yes, all right.
All right! Let's do it!
A promise.
Ah! He seems pretty tough! Alright, let's do this!
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so now it's time for one of the few bosses of this game. I don't know what human abomination this thing is supposed to be. I don't know if it's actually directly inspired by an Arabian Nights monster itself, but basically it's super simple. At one point, this monster, after trying to stick his eyeball tentacle thing or whatever and ground pound the sand, his eye will stay on the ground longer, and then you can homing attack it, which homing attacks the other eye, which takes you to the last eye, and again, just keep homing attack and homing attack and homing attack until the monster turns around and has his big-ass eye. At some point, the big-ass eye will start chasing you, and then you can homing attack it afterwards, and it's pretty much it. This boss is super easy to kill. It's the first boss of the game. Sonic, you cold-hearted bastard.
Sorry, but you were in my way.
I wonder if Sonic ever joined the Mafia at one point. Good God. Don't get in Sonic the Hedgehog's way. He'll fuck you up.
There it is, Sonic!
So that's...
This must be one of the 7 world rings the Eraser Djinn spoke of. Huh? I can't pick it up. When darkness descends upon the Arabian Nights, the legendary blue hedgehog from another world shall come.
Me? Legendary? You've got to be kidding. You're gonna make me blush.
When the 7 rings that control the worlds are gathered, the portal between the worlds shall open. But the life of the collector of the rings shall be offered up in sacrifice as the key for that control. That is what is written in the newest chapter of the Arabian Nights.
Say what? I'm supposed to be a sacrifice?
That I cannot say for sure, but I do believe that these world rings hold the key to some kind of mystery. And I think that we need to collect them to get to the bottom of this mystery.
Well, considering that I still have this arrow in me to worry about, I guess I'm in a pinch either way, right?
I'm sorry. It's my fault that all of this is happening to...
Hey, don't worry about it. Besides, don't you know how fast I am? Time may fly, but I'm even faster.
And so we got the Yellow World Ring. This is one of 7 secret rings. They're basically the Chaos Emeralds of this game. They're multicolored, they're magical, you need them for the final story. La la la. So we're now moving on to the next zone, or I should say the next chapter, because if you forget, this is a book after all, and every zone is called a chapter, and every sub-level in every chapter is called a paragraph, because Sonic was sucked into a book, and he's running around in a book. I don't know why this story needs to exist, but it does.
Whoa! Something's after us!
They're Triceratops! And
What did I do?
I don't know. Just run!
And I'm not too familiar with the Arabian Nights, but I don't know if there were actually stories that involved dinosaurs. I mean, I imagine there would be. I feel like Sinbad the Sailor would have encountered some at some point, but maybe someone in the fan comments section can tell me if there were actually dinosaurs.
That was a close one!
Sonic, can't you swim?
You go to hell, Shara.
Actually, I gotta give total props to Jason Griffith in this game. This is when Jason Griffith really started hitting his stride and became a really great Sonic voice actor, in my opinion. In Shadow the Hedgehog, he was okay. A lot of people didn't like his lines because he was very... I don't know. I don't want to say he wasn't into it. It felt kind of stiff and weird, and Sonic 06 especially, but I'm not going to talk about that. Secret Rings is when Jason Griffith really got into the role. I think after this game, Secret Rings, Unleashed, Black Knight, Jason Griffith really captured what I think is the attitude spirit of Sonic, and he really gave the character that extra little bit of oomph that the character really needed, you know? And I appreciate it.
Ah, I'm getting dizzy!
Yeah! Excellent!
Ah!
And apparently Shara the Genie is also following us and getting dizzy! Just like Tails, go figure! But yeah, Jason Griffith does a phenomenal job as Sonic, and this game sold me on the fact that Jason Griffith could be a good Sonic. I had nothing against the guy. I saw him in Sonic X long before Shadow the Hedgehog came out, and then I played Shadow the Hedgehog, and he was alright. I like his Shadow. Because his shadow is ultra serious, and it sounds like everything he says is almost sexual in a way. But, you know, I liked his performance. Oh, I hate this shit. Okay, right here is a block that will not go away until I kill these 3 flower enemies. All 3 flower enemies take 3 homing attacks to kill, because just hitting them once isn't enough in this goddamn dark age of Sonic. And I accidentally passed all those flowers, as you saw, and I had to back up with the Wii remote by tilting it towards myself in order to get just in front of the flowers, you know, who can shoot projectiles at me. They have, like, nuts that they can shoot at me. So I was in risk of being shot at. And, again, I just... It's the really awkward controls and really awkward motion controls that just kill this experience for me. And I just wish it controlled like a Sonic Adventure title or something, you know? Where I could move with a control stick and homing attack with A. I feel like... And move in diagonal directions, really. I mean, I can move left and right, but I'm always, like, sort of auto-pushing. And I can't really auto-diagonally go up and right. Not really, you know? I just don't like this control scheme. I hate when you get to a situation where you're at a dead end and the only way to progress forward is to kill enemies. But you have to back up in order to face those enemies because they're behind you and they're attacking you from behind, and there's no way to back attack. I mean, you have a fire step back attack thing, but it's not nearly as reliable as a homing attack, especially if the guys are really high up, like the flowers or like some kind of flying enemy or something. And most of the Kribajin enemies are floating in the air too. So I don't find the backstep is super useful for killing enemies, but when you're actually pushing back and then you push the jump button, he does a backstep instead of just jumping in the air. So even if I'm just trying to do a simple homing attack, I have to purposefully stop, wait a second, then push the jump button to start off this homing attack chain, because if I don't wait a little bit, I'm just going to do a backstep and keep going backwards instead of just jumping and doing a homing attack like I want to do. It's a very awkward control scheme. I do not like this on the rails. Sorry, there are dead ends. You have to kill enemies. Level design mentality. I don't understand the logic behind it. And it's one of the few things that take me out of the experience of this game. Generally, the main levels are okay. It's just a lot of the missions, a lot of the, some optional, some mandatory side missions can be really tedious with some of the tasks they want you to do and with this control scheme, you know? I don't hate this game. You know, I like the graphics, I like the music, I like the story concept. Yes, the Arabian Nights concept, I have no problem with it, you know? It's cutesy, not cutesy. it's lighthearted fun, and that's what I want with Sonic, but, you know.
You, spiky thing! Do something! Save me! How dare you! I am the king! Must you be so rude?
Sorry.
Your Highness, where did that spirit go?
Just as I feared. He's gone ahead to that castle. And it seems more minions are being assembled.
Castle?
There's a giant fortress just ahead. It's a relic from an ancient kingdom.
But that is the last time we will see Dr. Eggman. Unfortunately. He's not the villain of this game. He's not sending robots to attack us. I mean, he's playing King Shahryar, and the real villain is Eraser Jin. And King Shahryar is kind of a fun role for Eggman, I guess, because, like, in context of the Arabian Nights, in the story, like, 1001 Nights, which is the frame story for everything, because King Shahryar is basically this king who gets betrayed by his wife. And after this happens, he basically becomes sexist and totally distrusts women and believes all women he marries will eventually betray him at some point. So every time he marries a new woman, he has them sentenced to death and beheaded. So I guess he consummates the wedding, and then off with their head. Fuck them. They're gonna betray me at some point. And basically the whole frame story is about this one girl. I always forget the name. It's always one complicated, crazy name. But she has to... She basically prolongs her execution by telling King Shahryar tales like Aladdin and Sinbad and stuff. And always ending on a cliffhanger so that he can't kill her the next day, because if he wants to know the rest of the story, then he's just gonna keep her alive and stuff. And it's weird to think of Dr. Eggman in the the jilted lover king who executes women role. I don't know, it's kind of funny. But that's it for Eggman, and that's it for part 3. I rambled on way too long. Toodles.